I got a comment from one of you guys in the comment section down below, and I wanted to base today's video dedicated to answering that comment and talking about it. I do love when I receive comments from you guys, so if you want to ask me any questions or connect further, make sure to leave a comment down below. I was wondering what had happened to you as I had watched your past videos when you travelled through Australia. Later on from this time, I found the video in your confession about your motives as a bike traveller or the business you are in. What are your perspectives about it now? I've purchased a steel mid-step gravel bike not too long ago, and I'm still in the process of fine-tuning it to my liking. It rides really nice, and as an older woman, I can get on and exit the bike much easier compared to the standard frame design. Hope to see more mini documentaries of your travels. Happy bike touring. Smiley face. First off, Star Essence, thank you so much for your comment. And I'm really glad to hear that you have found a step through gravel bike. That's awesome. And it's steel build as well, which is really cool. I'd love to hear more about it if you want to reply to this comment or you can connect to me further. I'd love to hear what type of bike you got and all that stuff, but they're really cool bikes to just step through and get off and on with. So I'm really glad you found that. But to address your comment, I think you're referring to a video that I filmed. It's got to be over a year ago now. And I think it was the video when I was on the beach. And I had this aggressive tone in my voice the whole video because I'd hit a place in my life that I like to call rock bottom. It was a place that really rocked my world in a very challenging way. And I'm only in a space now where I'm actually moving through that. I'm seeing the other side of it. I'm in a much more positive state right now. I'm actually in China. And I haven't traveled in over 12 months. So it's been amazing to be in a new country and to be exploring. I'm currently in an apartment complex here on the 19th floor with a view of the building next to me and the city out there as well. And I've been in this complex for a couple of weeks now because I've just been immersed and sitting and working and cultivating what is my creative personal brand and also a company that I've co-founded, Zuatani, as well. This is actually one of our first products, a travel blender. If you want to find out more about that, I'll have it linked down below. But that's been my main focus since co-founding that a year ago. But then also moving through a lot of the challenges that came at a very similar time frame. Because if you don't know, I ran and still run a bike touring blog, an adventure cycling blog called Cycle Travel Overload. And I built that up in 2019 to a very successful space for myself where I was able to sustain myself and bring in a really substantial income, over 10K a month, just from writing about bikes and how to go on bike trips and helping a tremendous amount of people. We ended up getting over 100,000 visitors to the website each month and just helping people with their queries into how to explore the world by bike. And those were golden days. I was really grateful for that because it was during COVID where I had a time to just sit and build that blog and write every day and build.
I am 1 month and 1 day in, like actually committed, like full on committed into this site.
It was beautiful. It served a purpose and I'm really grateful for what it did for me, but also what it did for a lot of people in the community here. And I'm tremendously grateful for that. At the time though, with the video that you're referring to, where I was questioning, I guess, my motives as a bike traveler, it was more so the business that I was in that was around bike traveling. And to get to answer that question of what my perspective is about that now is what I'll get to in this video. But that was a big part of it. The business was around bike travel. And if you guys don't know about the helpful content update, Google helpful content update, this thing happened where there's a lot of lessons I've learned on this journey. And this is going to be just a stream of consciousness recording an update for you guys. And I think I might also upload this to my original channel, the Cody Ogle OG channel. So all of you guys who are watching over there, it's been a while. I think I haven't uploaded on this channel and this channel, this channel for over a year now. So it's been a while. So if you guys are watching over on that channel, make sure to check out my new channel where I'm posting stuff weekly and much more regularly about bike travel, but also wanting to create content that I love creating again. I sort of fell off that for a while because I was a slave to. It was beautiful. That blog was great at the time, but I become a slave to creating content that was for the algorithm or for search intent. And yeah, there needs to be a balance. I understand that with, building up your brand or getting people to know you through something that's trending or that's popular. That's a good way to do it. But what I'm realizing, I've been on this journey for over 13 years now, this creator journey. And I'd love to make more videos about personal branding and, putting yourself out there online and creating a brand. And I've helped brands like I did with the bike travel blog. I generated over $500,000 in sales for some of the brands that I work with. And that's beautiful with affiliate sales and also working with sponsorships and all of that. That's what I'm working on more now since I'm focused on the YouTube side of things, is working with these cool brands. I'm just looking at my bike over here that's sitting in the corner. Got some cool brands in the works that I'm partnering with and working with. And it's really, really exciting. And that's been the trajectory, the detour, if you will, of my life over the last year and a half, is 100% focused on this blog that was reliant upon one traffic source, pretty much one income stream, with the ads pretty much on the site, generating money from ads. Like, it didn't really align much to my purpose. So it's been a whole journey to discover or rediscover my purpose and my direction and falling back in line with that. And I'm really grateful to say that I'm in a space now where I can create bike travel videos, but also have a grander vision for what I want to create moving forward with Zuatani, but also with my brand as well, my personal brand here, and this idea of adventure consciousness, which is, I like to think, this philosophy that I have been cultivating since I made that decision to go on my first bike trip. How travel can help us expand, obviously, our perspective of the outside world, but also our internal and our inner landscapes as well. And through that whole process, it can help us to self-actualize or to self-optimize and become better human beings. Because I think that at the end of the day, that's what it's all about, is becoming a better human being. And it's been a crazy journey, and I've been wanting to sit down and edit and create a film, because that's the best way I like to tell stories, if you don't know already. I love creating films where I capture the essence of a story and then narrate with some vlogging, like different styles, and just pull it all together into this masterpiece, beautiful presentation. I've been getting some beautiful responses from you guys from such videos, and I love creating more and more of that. It's a bit hard for me to sit down and talk to a camera and actually explain something off the cuff, but I'm trying my best, and it's been a journey, right? A lot of things have helped me. A lot of people have helped me on this path. And I really was testing my self-worth and my self-image, my self-esteem. All of these things were tested, and I broke. It's fair enough to say that I broke. I was broken, and I couldn't see a way forward. It was really hard to see a way forward, to see light at the end of the tunnel when it was so dark. And that video you're referring to, I was just really aggressive, I guess, with the world and what things happened to me as I perceived them rather than things happening for me. And looking forward and looking back from where I am right now, it's incredible to have that perspective shift, to realize that all these things that have happened, even things that are perceived failures, are actually not failures, they're feedback. These are the things that are signposts to us to be like, hey, pay attention. Like, you made a mistake, but it's not the end of the world, and I'm going to redirect you. It's a redirection opportunity, I like to think. to move towards our highest potential. And that's something that is already within us, and is something that I like to believe, and I think it's pretty much true, is that it's a predestined trajectory, fate, if you will, whatever you want to call it. Like, I feel like we've already made the decision, we've already made the choice, kind of like in the Matrix, where we need to figure out why we made that choice. Life is the journey of figuring out why we made the choice to answer the call to adventure, or whatever you want to call it. And for me, since I went on my first bike trip, it was probably in a space of escapism to an extent, but at the same time, it was me calling something internally, calling a phone call, in an internal phone call. I was trying to answer an internal phone call. And as a young kid who had a bike and had a dream to go on an adventure at 17, 18, my first ever trip failed, by the way. I talk more about that in my Bike Buyers Masterclass if you guys are still trying to look for your dream bike or your ideal bike for your bikepacking adventures. I talk about that. There's 2 free modules that I include in the link down below. You can check it out, where I talk about the story of me buying my bike and that adventure, like that adventure that failed on my road bike, where I overloaded it, where I get, the idea of cycle travel overload from. And how that failed trip sort of primed me for my journey moving forward. But I feel like for some of us, maybe all of us, I'm not sure, but at least from my own experience and my own journey, there was this inner calling that I felt like I had to answer or seek out in the world. And I did that through riding my bicycle across countries. And it's such a beautiful thing. And I remember having a dream once that I wanted to make $1,000 a month from my blog to sustain me on those adventures. And it did so much more than that, which is beautiful. So I guess these last couple of months to 6 months have been a transition shift for me, where I was riding that wave of success, and then it all come crashing down within a few days since those changes were made in the algorithms, and my income went from this all the way down to this, and I'm getting to a place where I'm building that up again, and I'm getting to a nice place there again, but it's much more aligned this time, and that's exciting. I'm really grateful for that. But I still love bike traveling. I love the idea of slow, immersive travel that a bike brings. I think it's one of the best ways to explore the world and deeply connect to the country you're traveling through, to the people you pass, to the land and to the culture. I think it's such a beautiful thing. And that's always going to have a connection in here with me as well, with the romanticism of bike travel for me. I'm looking at my bike now and I'm so grateful. Like, the guys at Bikes Online sent me this bike. It's like a $5,000 bike, full carbon fiber gravel bike, and the thing is a beast. Polygon Tambora G8X, if you want to check it out. I'm just so grateful. I'm in a space of complete gratitude and abundance for what I'm building and where I'm heading. And I really wish when I get to a place where I've solidified the success, if you will, or the actualization of my highest potential in this space of personal branding, adventure creation, adventure creator, I would love to give back. And I feel like I'm in a space now where I want to give back. There was so much of my time back then where a lot of it was taking, or because I got gifted a book when I left high school called How to Win Friends and Influence People. A beautiful book, and it really helped me to get to a place where I am today, and I'm grateful for that. I was just thinking about that right now, and I'm just thinking, like, a lot of that book from memory teaches you how to get people to befriend you so then you can level yourself up and get to a place where you want to, you know, and all that's fine. Like you do that in your early days because that's just the way things go. You got to build yourself up. But I think as we get older, we start to shift that perspective. And literally 2 days since a month ago, it was my birthday, 15th of January, and I turned 28. I'm just gonna charge this up. And it did something to me. I think 28 is an interesting age where you're getting much closer to 30 and you're getting to a place where you're thinking about family, you're thinking about kids. And it's a beautiful thing. Like I reflect on my parents' journey and where they were at my age. And you start thinking about all these things, right? And you start thinking more about the future in a way. I think I've always been in a space of living in the illusion of freedom, just freedom. And not committing in many areas of my life, whatever that may be, relationships or business opportunities, or even, you know, being responsible when it comes to income and all these other things. And you start realizing it's kind of an immature way of moving about the world without really thinking about your future. Always had this idea that I wouldn't make it past 30. But now it comes closer and closer. Maybe, I don't think it's my fear of mortality. I think I'm pretty content with life and all of that stuff. But as it gets closer, you start realizing, what if I do live past that age? I know it's such a bizarre thought to have, but it's just something that's always been there. And then you start thinking about the longevity. And I kind of have a little bit of regret that I didn't think about these things much earlier and be more responsibly free in that sense. But that's the ethos of the brand, and it's quite beautiful and fitting. And I'm starting to fall into the acceptance of the divine in the sense that everything, I genuinely believe this, that everything happens for a reason. One thing leads on to the next, and it's only when we look back and start connecting the dots that we realize it all makes sense. But it doesn't make sense moving forward, and that's the hard part. I think that's why life is such a beautiful thing, because we can't predict or often understand what things happening in the present mean for our future selves. I wrote a newsletter article for my newsletter. If you haven't joined, make sure to sign up down below. It's free, and I send out weekly newsletter articles. This one I've been writing for this week is about roadblocks or redirections. And it's this idea that things that are perceived as roadblocks or impassable objects are often just redirections, like I was suggesting with the signpost earlier. When I came to China, I'm not even supposed to really be in China, but it all worked out that way because that's how it's supposed to work. And when I surrendered to that and accepted that, it all made sense. But just as an example, I was planning to go to Vietnam. I got to China as a connecting flight, 2 hours from the next flight to go to Vietnam, and I couldn't pass because I didn't sort out my visa properly, and I didn't have a visa to get to Vietnam, so I couldn't pass, couldn't get through, and I couldn't get it done in time either. So I was stuck, if you will, stranded in China in the airport in Guangzhou, and I had no access to internet because you need VPN here for things to work online, and it's just a whole deal there with that. And I was challenged in terms of everything and tested. I could have really panicked and went into a space of uncertainty, which I pretty much did almost. Instead, I decided to stay quantumous and think about, like, what is this doing for me, not to me? Pulling the time frame out further and further and further, and looking down upon it and looking at this little situation and realizing that, okay, so this is happening for a reason. What is the reason? And really sort of trying to think about it, not trying to figure it out, because that's pretty much impossible to do, right? That's hard to do. But when I broaden my perspective like that, it helps me see the grander picture, the grander plot that's at play. And I think that's quite powerful. And, you know, it's a whole story. If you want to read that whole story, check out the newsletter, sign up for it, and I'll send it out to you soon. But I'm excited. Cycle Travel Overload is still around. It doesn't get as much traffic as it did in the past, and it doesn't earn me quite nearly as much money at all that it did in the past. It still serves people and people get help from it. But that was a stepping stone. And there's many other beautiful things that are cultivating from the journey that is my trajectory. And I'm really excited to share that with you guys moving forward. I've been wanting to do a bit of an update video for a while, and it feels weird doing these kind of videos because I haven't filmed one of these videos in a long time. And it's almost like a therapy style video where you're sitting down and facing the mirror that is the camera lens or looking at yourself on the camera and really sitting with the reflections that are there. And it's a good dynamic sometimes. I'm a little rusty. I haven't done it in a while, but I appreciate you guys. Like, a lot of you guys reach out and you give me such beautiful comments and all these things about what I'm doing here. It's hard sometimes to see these people who are really successful at what they do and that kind of thing. And you think about, wow, that's incredible. They're doing awesome stuff. Like, good on you. Like, good stuff. I've been doing this for 13 years and, you know, that's fine. It's going to take as long as it's going to take. And I'm not saying that I'm trying to get somewhere, because I'm not. I'm so content with where I am right now. And it's such a beautiful thing to share that journey with you guys. So I just want to say thank you to you guys for following along on the journey. I really appreciate it, because there's a lot of you guys who have been watching for a very long time. Since I was like a 17-year-old boy, over 10 years ago. It's incredible to look back on some of those videos and see where I've come. If you guys are interested, my old channel's there. You can see the old videos. I think one of my first videos, I was sitting at a table with a polo shirt explaining like how to measure it, or like, and I was selling stuff on eBay back then. The good old days, hey? And it's incredible to see the person that I've become along that journey. And I think that's what life is all about, is the person you become, the skills you acquire, the character you build. Not necessarily about the things you create or achieve in a way, but it's this inner cultivation. And more than that as well, it's the relationships and the connections you make with others. I think that's a big part of it as well. And that's one of the things that has really pulled me through these last 12 months to a year and a half, has been the people. This close-knit community of people that are in my corner that have really helped me pull through. Because there was moments there where I didn't want to pull through. I didn't have the strength. I had the strength, but I didn't know I had the strength. And it took those people to reflect to me my worth and my strength for me to realize that I was worthy and I was powerful beyond measure. And without those people, I don't know where I would be today. So this is me just again expressing gratitude to that. And I don't know what else to say, guys. This is a bit of a checkup video. And thanks if you stuck around this long. It's like 25 minutes or something. Just me blabbering on. And there's many other things I'm sure I wanted to say in this video. But thanks Star Essence for your comment. Because my motivations are high now. I'm in this place where I'm tapping into this divine field of flow creation. And it's really beautiful. Cultivating a self-image that is aligned with goals that are really aligned with where I want to go, and getting extreme clarity on that direction and those goals, and working on that every day. I could be out there exploring, and I'm doing a bit of a sacrifice right now from that freedom mentality, that solely reckless freedom mentality that isn't balanced with responsibility, of just going out and exploring and seeing new places. And that's cool. I'm all for it. Capturing the essence of a place, documenting it, and all of that. But time for me right now to sit in this apartment and just continue on my daily flow tasks and working. I've dialed it in. I'm able to go down there, like one of the shops down here, get my breakfast for $3, get my lunch for $3, order them both at the same time. Come up here, have breakfast, work and flow for 5 hours, whatever it is. Have my lunch, have a yoga nidra session, and then do more work. And then I head out for dinner at an all-you-can-eat vegan restaurant for like $6. I'm living the dream, guys. And I come back, do a bit more work, and go to bed. And I've been doing that for like a week and a half, along with martial arts, which has really saved me as well. Like, moving the body to incentivize the mind, I think is something really, really powerful. Cycling, bike touring, bike packing, bicycle travel does that for me. Like, I can't explain the feeling when I got on that bike for the first time here in China after not bike packing for some time in a new country. The new country dynamic plus the bike riding and forward momentum and movement through an unknown land with all this sensory input that is so refreshingly new. All that combined with the unknown of where you're heading, or the unknown of what the place is going to be like. This is that immersive experience that I'm talking about that is so rich and fulfilling. And it was a feeling and a sensation that flicked and dawned on me in that moment where I was like, wow, this is what it's all about. And it was such a beautiful moment. Really hard to put into words, but I'm building foundations, and martial arts has really taught me a lot about foundations. About solidifying these solid, grounded, foundational, I guess, structures or fundamentals for then you to build upon. I'm here on the 19th floor in a building that I think has about 26 floors. And I'm picturing this building, it would not be standing if it didn't have a solid foundation. Foundations are key to growth, key to living a good, fulfilling, wholesome life, I think. And as I work in flow on my computer, I've got a dialed in dashboard set up like my second brain system on my laptop here. In the setup that I have, everything's just dialed in where I know exactly what I'm working on for the day, running a company, and also like doing the personal brand stuff with the vision I have with that. These things, like there's a lot of things involved, and it can be very overwhelming if we don't have systems in place that allow us to continue in forward momentum without being in this whirlwind, this pool of messy distraction and complexity. And creating order amongst the chaos, I think, is very important. And there's something about that with martial arts, with how you have to learn how to do your basic blocks and forms and movements before you can start learning these crazy kicks and katas and forms and all these things. Those come much later. But it takes like a year and a half, 2 years of cultivating those foundations in martial arts, and maybe in life too, in other areas, to even get to a place where you can start flourishing. And that's the beauty of the non-linearness of it, I think. And it's been a long journey for me, you know. I feel like it's been 13 years of just, you know, being in battles of myself the whole time, like facing my own demons and working through them, and sometimes not even working through them because I was so naive to them. But it's non-linear in the sense that you just start getting to a place where this happens. And I feel like I'm on the base camp of Everest looking up to the summit, about to climb the mountain. After hiking in for many, many kilometers, many, many years, many 13 years of the journey. just to get to the base of this beautiful mountain. And I'm excited to climb it, guys. And I'm excited for you guys to follow along on the journey and see what it entails. It's a beautiful journey life, and I'm so grateful for everything that it has given me. And I'm excited for the future. So, thank you guys for watching. It's a bit of a ramble, this video, because I didn't script it and I just wanted to be in the moment here with you guys. And hopefully I got to connect on a deeper level with you as well. If you feel like reaching out, make sure to drop us a comment below. I'd love to hear from you, because as a creator, especially on YouTube, I don't know what it is with the platform in the way that it's structured, but the comments section structure is hard to cultivate connections. But I'd love to hear what you have to say. And just say g'day if you've been watching for years and never commented before. Because as a creator, it's hard to know who watches your stuff. You see the views on the videos, but if you like had that many people in a room, I don't think that many people would fit in this room. But if you had that many people, it would be quite jaw-dropping. And that's something that I like to visualize sometimes, is thinking about how many people watched a video and seeing them all in person. But I'd love to connect to you on a deep level, so make sure to comment below. And thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.